If you guys have seen the videos of me talking about The Feeling of Falling in Love by Mason Deaver, you probably have heard me say the phrase, Mason Deaver's in my walls, because the amount of times I was called out in that book was a bit much. This was also confirmed by Mason. Sorry, this is just an absurdly funny thing to me. But the thing is I've just been wondering, how long have they been living in my walls? Because I'm rereading and re-annotating I Wish You All the Best, and Mason! My TikTok reminded me that I was reading it for the first time a year ago, so I thought I would reread it. A statement that I have said over and over and over again about this book, and is the same with this read-through, is I take damage every single time they misgender Ben. The little pause when someone uses he, him pronouns for Ben, or refers to Ben as a guy in some way, and they just take a second. I feel that little stab. I feel that with every part of my soul. I'm just, whenever people refer to me as like a girl, and I'm like, because even if it's a situation and you're telling yourself, oh, they don't know, it's like, and this is why I keep reading books with trans main characters by trans people, because it's just so, this is such a specific experience. Whenever I see it described in a book, I feel like I'm so not alone, and it's really lovely, even if it hurts. And they go to talk about facial hair and how they'll never look like how a bunch of other non-binary people, like really androgynous people, look on social media and stuff. Then it's like an issue of like, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with like being non-binary and having facial hair, or basically just, you don't need to be androgynous to be non-binary, but it feels just sometimes that's just an experience where you just wish you were more androgynous to feel more yourself, despite the fact that you recognize that gender presentation is just personal. It's a matter of like, it just doesn't feel right for you. My god. Recognizing that there's no right way to be non-binary, but your dysphoria makes you want to, like, appear more androgynous. But what does that even mean? My god. Also, I decided to do a thing with annotating where I'm assigning colors to specific characters. I assigned Nathan yellow, and I completely forgot about the whole scenes with where Ben decides to use yellow, and that yellow was just such a Nathan color, and then everyone else collectively agreed, yeah, that color is just Nathan, and I'm like, oh my god. So Mason, if you ever question for 1 second whether or not you did a good job in writing the personification of the color yellow somehow, no, I literally did not remember this part of the book, and I still was like, Nathan is the color yellow. That is his color. Oh, and also so much of the description of Ben having panic attacks and just, you know, just being in that weird kind of stage of life after something super traumatic happens where you just feel so lost and depressed even. And just, you're expected to just, you know, go about life and be a functional human being, even though you've been through arguably one of the worst things you've ever experienced in your life. And their, like, anxiety, the depression, the panic attacks, all of it, even how they go about, like, therapy, it's so well done. It is so... I've had to take a step back a few times in rereading just because of how much I'm like, ouch, that's familiar. On top of that, I just get so excited every time someone is respectful of Ben's pronouns. Thomas going out of his way to not use pronouns or any sort of gender terms when referring to Ben and just using Ben's name, so he doesn't have to out Ben and also misgender Ben. Just And even Hannah asking if it was okay to call Ben bro, when that's not even something I would have thought of. I remember why I love this book so much. Why I literally read the sample from the library and then left and bought it the same day. I'm so excited for the movie to come out, whenever it does. I think this story already means a lot to trans and gender non-conforming people. And the fact that it's going to reach new audiences soon, and more audiences to be more accessible to people, is just... I'm really excited. Because I feel that this story just communicates the trans experience, and or the experience of existing as someone who doesn't really identify with the gender binary so well. And I feel it will allow for not only a lot of people to feel seen and start to understand themselves a bit more, but even people who are not trans or gender non-conforming to maybe understand us a little bit more. I love this book with every fiber of my being.